right. Hello and welcome, everyone. Can you hear the sound of my voice? Jennifer, can I get a thumbs up? All right. That is the hardest part of the thing we're going to do today, just making sure everything's working on here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Let AI Agents Market for You. Today, I know you saw, we talked a lot about artificial intelligence and stuff. Today is not about AI. Today is not actually about artificial intelligence. Yes, that is a part of what Flint will teach you today. But today is mostly about you, right? If you look at the title of our session today, it says, Let AI Agents Market for You. That is not an oversight. We hear a lot about artificial intelligence. You know, so people get scared. AI is going to do everything. It's going to take our jobs. That's not what today's about. Today is adding this superpower to the skills you already have. Just a few tips to help you get the most out of today. First of all, you're going to kind of actually get into the tools and do different AI prompting. And to do that, you're going to roll up your sleeves and work on stuff. If you have any challenges, use the chat. We've got Ayub Bella standing by. You can just put out a message to everyone. You can actually message Ayub directly, and he can help you with any technical challenges you have. So that will be something that will be very helpful. Also, just use the chat. Share your questions. I'll be in there chatting, share your observations. Someone else we got in the chat just joining us the first 15 minutes. This is something more for bigger companies. We've got John Bush joining us just for a few minutes. If you're looking for a more robust enterprise solution, John leads a group within our organization that specializes in those kind of things. He's got an interesting background. For example, he was a VP of marketing at Sprint Canada. And you could just message him in the chat, or I'll put his email address in the chat at some point too, John@RevenueExpertsAI. And stay tuned too. We're going to have a little simple survey at the end just to make sure we've got your information so we can follow up. There's going to be a sprint so you can build your own conversion-focused, agent-powered strike force. You'll get a certificate at the end for completing everything. So make sure you see that survey at the end, complete that, fill that out, and do that as well. With that, I want to tell you about today's host, Flint McGlaughlin. He is the founder of MEClabs Institute, which is the parent organization of Marketing Sherpa and Marketing Experiments. He holds this famous patent right here. Have you seen this before? It's kind of looks like a formula. It's not really a formula, but it's the most well-known methodology and process to increase the probability of conversion. C equals 4m plus 3v plus 2. I have it wrong on there. C equals 4m plus 3v plus 2i minus f minus 2a. He holds a patent for that and many other marketing methodologies, and he is a pioneer of conversion, optimization. He's been doing this since the dawn of online marketing. So when we talk about this big wave we're going through in AI, I know we see all these AI upstarts. It seems like there's a new AI company every week. So it's always interesting when I talk to Flint about this. They can just kind of go, yeah, I remember the first time we went through this when the whole internet started and we were doing that stuff. In fact, it goes so far back. I was looking on the Washington Post for an article he did. They interviewed him about value proposition for the 2012 presidential election. I was looking for that. I stumbled into an article he did in 2002 with the Washington Post, where he was talking about online marketing, search engines, and all that. So without further ado, Flint lives on the top of a mountain in Montana. You can see this very rugged office he's about to share with us. Let me turn it over to Flint McGlaughlin. How you doing today, Flint?
I'm doing well, Dan. Thank you. And team, if you give me a moment, we're going to change our screen share so that you can start to see my notes as I begin to speak. And Dan, thank you. You know, the problem with an introduction is it's all about the guy you're introducing, and it's not about the guy introducing you. But the reason Dan is asked to introduce is not simply because he's a capable speaker with a background in radio and podcasting and all of that. It's because Dan and I have been working together more than 15 years, because he's my favorite marketer, because he's interviewed more CMOs than anybody I know. And we're all going to learn from those things together. I am here to get something done today. You're about to find that out. And rather than start in the classic way, I will do two things. First, I'm going to confirm that you can see my screen. Everybody seeing my screen well enough? Good. All right. And you're going to see that we have a question. We're going to spend the entire day on that question. And very soon, I'm going to open this toggle that says key. And when I do, you'll see the compass setting for today's session. We do have a compass setting, and we're going to work very hard together to get that done. And before I go there, I'm going to share with you an ad on Facebook. I'm scrolling up so you can see it. There's a headline. There is everything you might want right there. Take a look at your Facebook ad and tell me one thing in the chat that you might do to improve performance. What changes would you possibly make in the chat, or sorry, in this Facebook ad that could make a difference in conversion? Who has an idea? While you're doing that, I'm opening up the chat window. I see Ayub is there standing by to help you. Somebody speak right out. Don't even wait for your chat. Anything you would do to improve this ad? Adrian Stewart. I saw you in chat this morning. Adrian, give us one thing you might do to fix that ad.
You put me on the spot here, Flint, but I will have a crack.
Sure.
The first thing,
Yes.
maybe the first thing that stood out to me is just the too many SaaS companies focus on features when customers care about outcomes. It continues to explain the outcomes, but outcomes is kind of vague. I would like to see focus on I don't know, how it benefits them or something a little bit more descriptive.
Okay. So that's a piece of advice on how you might improve that ad. And there's other advice coming in. Some of you are real specialists, and these are things you're really familiar with. Take a look, because if you engage your brain with me right now, I'm going to take you on a journey. And on the other end of this journey, you're going to have an experience that may change how you think about 2025. There is no hype in that. I really mean that. And the application of your full energy right now could make all of the difference. Now, how many of you, when I ask that question, the first problem is it's not a 3-line ad and you got to absorb it. It takes a minute to absorb it. Did you have that feeling? And it's like until you've had a chance to read the whole thing, sort of absorb it and process it, you can't really narrow it down to the changes you would make. Is that, would you say that's a normal problem? So what are some of the things we're doing in AI to solve for that right now? Somebody tell me, how do you leverage AI to solve that problem right now? Any ideas? Just speak right up if you've got an idea. We're working like a discussion in a class today. Later, I may have you just raise your hand if we're in a deep piece, but if you got something, call it out. Oh, don't worry about that. Let's just keep going. How about the ad? Let's not get distracted, team. Can you improve that ad more now? How many of you might run it through GPT? A GPT or OpenAI? Yeah? Okay. Does anybody know what might be the danger if you did that? Let me share with you. That's a very good.
Too
That's
general.
right. That's
Too
right.
general.
Too general, you need context. Let me give you another challenge. The LLM that produces advice for you was trained by homogenizing all of the other stuff on the internet. What you will get is the best representation of what it learned from studying everybody else's ads. And how many of you need an ad that doesn't look like somebody else's ads, that achieves something more than the other ads in order to win? Well, here's a real challenge, because we're going to look at something really interesting. But here's the first problem. It was GPT, OpenAI's most advanced model, that built the ad. And it's not sufficient. Now, I looked at going back and showing you the original chat, but our time is very tight today, and I want to show you a different way to think about that ad. So I'm going to go to a strange little page right here and introduce you. I think I can pull it up right here. Now, in the background is a website. Let's just minimize this. This website has a SaaS solution. So they don't know that we're looking at their website. They don't even know that this device down here exists in front of their website. My AI unit that you're going to discover today went to the site, captured all the content, put it into look at the URL, it's in the MecLabs platform. And then as a way to help them drive leads, and also to think more deeply, as part of an experiment I was doing internally, we created this. Now, here's what I'd like to suggest that you're looking at. It's not a chatbot, that's for sure. It's not even an AI-powered conversation driver. What is that? I'll tell you what you're doing right now is you're meeting somebody. So let's just do this. I'm going to take my menu. I'm going to create a new interaction. You'll learn about this a little bit. and I'm going to say, what is your situation? Now ask yourself, why am I saying that? We're going to work together. Once you see what this unlocks, then you're going to start to get a sense of how that compass at the top of this page today is going to connect with your greatest conversion needs. But let's just stay there for a moment, because you're meeting Jill Taylor. She says, I'm actually a customer simulator. Talk with me to learn how your customer thinks. What would happen if a powerful AI agent studied all your customer data, understood your segments, paid attention to your chat transcripts, unpacked the conversations that are happening every day in your business, connected to your data silos, and then built the perfect simulator for your customer? This might even be better than AI. This might even be better than A/B testing. In fact, it could help you perfect the hypothesis that you pre-test before you get into your A/B experiment, if you even need to. Let's do something different. I asked Jill, what is your situation? Now, Jill is powered by an LLM. We can change them out. Any LLM, Grok, any of them, any of the OpenAI LLMs, we don't care about that. We change those out based on their latest breakthroughs. They're at the heart of a platform that builds layers of insight on top of that. And guess what Jill just said? Now, you notice I went from partial screen to full screen. And let's see what she said. Hello, I'm Sam. Oh, I just did a Sam Reynolds one, so I didn't change the name. A 38-year director of marketing based in Austin, Texas. I'm currently in the consideration stage of evaluating AI-powered marketing automation platforms. My goal is to find a solution that offers seamless integration, quick ROI, and robust data. Those are important points. Here's the objectives. Increase qualified leads, demonstrate ROI, strategic recognition. Here's my challenges. These are the actual problems. Limited headcount, lead quality tension between sales and marketing. We've all seen that. And a competitive marketplace. These are her concerns. Hidden cost. Internal. By the way, we have not told Jill to answer that way. And you can see that when you ask any question. In fact, watch what I do next. I'm going to go right over here. I'm going to grab this. And I'm going to introduce you to a new world, the kind of world that didn't exist, then was not even possible just a little while ago. Here I go. Watch me talk to Jill. Jill or Sam, whatever name you'd like to use, period. Please review this Facebook ad and help me understand how I should alter it so that it would resonate best with you. Rewrite it for me and explain to me why it's better. Now, team, I'm going to have to do that again. Sorry, give me a second. I recorded over myself. Read this Facebook ad and rewrite it based on your own needs and desires. As a customer, help me get this right. I stopped my recording, and I want you to know that I didn't say it twice the same way, because it doesn't matter. I'm just talking like I would a person. And by the way, I can do more than that. I'm going to send this. But now, if I wanted to, I could just push a button here and Jill will start saying it back to me. And I can converse with Jill, or I can give her time. But wait a second. Let's see what we got here. Full screen. Okay. She's already rewritten it. In this fast look, she's got her challenges, bombarding prospects with specs instead of demonstrating tangible ROI. Complex, she's got the solution, transition from features to outcomes, minimize friction, simple signups, align expectations, build trust. She's laid it out in a way that connects with her pictures. Look at the headline. If you don't like the headline, say, Jill, give me 3 versions of that headline, but I need a headline that will resonate with you and get your attention. Stop, go. Now Jill's thinking about the ad, and she's going to give me 3 headline variations. Transform your SaaS marketing, drive real results with data-driven strategies. Here's another. From features to ROI. Elevate your SaaS marketing with outcome-focused approaches. Here's another one. Smart SaaS marketing. Achieve quick ROI and build a lasting trust with data insights. Can you see where this is going? Can you see the power of this? Why do we need to run an A/B test to see what our customers think if we could build a customer and get in front of them right now in the early stages of our ideas to test our concepts? Let's do a little test right now. Just wave or nod or use the hand feature if you're not on video. It's very helpful if you're on video because I do a better job when I can see your reactions, I optimize what I'm doing in order to help you get the most. But even as you think about that right now, and you think about these headline variations, how many of you are going to launch a new web page or landing page sometime in the next month? Just wave at me. How many of you are thinking about a new product and you're trying to get the right product developed? Wave at me if that's the issue. This is one of the best ways I can think of. And how many of you, and this won't be all of you, have an agency that helps people solve for these things? Betsy Kent, you're on here, aren't you? Would you speak up if you are, Betsy? I don't see you because there you are. Betsy was in the guild. She's learned to use AI. And now she has a firm that does nothing but intense customer research using these tools. Betsy can build a simulator of your customer. And then suddenly you're having interactions at the early stages of your creative thinking that produce way new types of insights. Team, watch with me. I'm going somewhere. You might be thinking, how do I absorb all this? In about 3 minutes, 5 at the most, you're going to get story click. What I mean by story click is it's like watching a screenplay at the theater. Suddenly you're going to understand why I opened this way. Suddenly you're going to understand why I'm going that direction and where this all ends and how you can get the value out of it. To help you with that though, look, here's an email series. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but look, this is written to Jill. And this is an email that's been written to explain the product. I could put that email right now over to this same place, and I could say, Jill, tell me how to improve this email series. This is the email I use to follow up with leads. And Jill will rewrite it for me in the voice of the customer from a customer's perspective. All I do is say, rewrite so that I can resonate with your needs. I just made that up. You could have said it in a different way. I'm just basically saying, make this better from the perspective of a customer. That's all I'm really saying. And now Jill is, I didn't put the ad in. So I didn't put the email in. So let's go email, boom, Control V. There's the email series. No, I see what happened. The email series didn't copy. Let's go back to my notes. Watch what I see there. I'll do a Control C again. I'll come back to here and I'll paste the ad in and she'll know, there it is. I'll paste the email. Now she's going to rewrite that whole email. And she's going to rewrite it focused directly to a customer using the needs and the essence of her own situation. So let's go back up. It's already written. Hi, team. I want to address some critical challenges in our current SaaS marketing effort and propose a strategic shift that aligns with our goals of improving conversion rates, customer engagement, long-term intention. That's a good opening. Key challenges, proposed solution, next steps. Do you see what's going on here? She's writing the email. Now, we're not going to keep going. You've seen email. But we could go through any one of the pieces of marketing collateral that are driving conversion in your business right now. We could dial in an agent and refine it, not with some set of principles or a book that somebody wrote, but with real customer insight. Nod at me if you can see the potential power of that. Just nod at me because I want to take you somewhere else now. All right. Then this leads to the point of today. I'm going to drop this toggle and I'm going to start pointing us in a very, very focused direction. Here it is. I'm going to change this to we. Let's work together. How do we cut through the AI confusion, this giant revolution that's taking the world by storm? Now notice, I am writing something that I got to deliver on. I have a part to play. And when I write this, I'm making a promise. And when I make this promise, I feel it inside. And it's driving every word that's going to come out of my mouth today. I want to drive a surge in conversion results. I want you to feel that surge, and I want you to see it impact your business. Would you like to learn today, without spending any money, by the way? I don't have a pitch at the last second for you to pay to be able to do this. Would you like to get a conversion result from what we do together? Like something that would drive new results for you? Nod at me if you're on the same page, because I need to know that you're all in. And here's why. Right here. I have a contract I'd like to execute with you. I've written out the words of my contract right here. If you will go all in, if you will invest your whole person in today's class, then my team and I will go all in. We'll do whatever it takes to help you break through in this session together. Now, I am not kidding. When I'm done, I generally can't even have another meeting afterwards because I'm so exhausted. I want to give you everything I can to help you, but I can't make this work. I can't drive the surge without your help. It's the sound of one hand clapping. I need you to connect with me. Will you commit today in the next 90 minutes to going all in to learn as much as you can and try to walk away with something real and tangible that will help your business? If you will do that, would you nod at me like this or wave your hand? Because I need to see if I've got a consensus. And if you're on video, can you use that hand feature? Do you know what that is? The raise your hand feature? Let me know so I can see, because there's hundreds of people, if not thousands, that sign up for these events. And I want everybody to get value if they invest. You don't want to be on your phone unless you have to. You don't want to do anything else. But if you keep up with me, you're going to do real work today. You're not going to listen. You're going to perform. And I think we can do it. I'm seeing all those hands. That's what I needed. All right, team, I'm in. So here's what I want to do first. There's a link. I'm going to take this link and I'm going to put it right here. You're going to see a new AI unit that was built for today's class. That link is going right in the chat right now. Now, as you go there, I want you to see me go there. I'm going to close the example of the simulator so I don't have too many windows open. I'm going to go to my version of that page, which is right here. You should see this. How many of you see what at that link, what you see on my screen? Because I'm arming you right now. We're going to do a piece of work right now that will help your business. Can you see that? Do you see the AI conversion mentor at the top? Okay, you got him? Good. Now, here is what we're going to do first. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you how to use this powerhouse, this genius, along with these apps, which were all created by voice with no code, to position your business for extreme growth. That's what we're going to do right now. Yes. Oh, all right. Well, it's, I bet it was to Betsy only or something like that. Okay. So, meeting group. All right, let's try that again. Thanks, buddy. All right, team, I've just sent it again, and you can go there. It'll take a moment for the page to load. And I mean, the page will load, and then it'll take a moment before this guy pops up. But when he does, you've just tapped into something far more powerful than you may understand. And we're going to do amazing things with this piece, but not yet. Not yet. I'm going to go back to my notes. I want you to see that we've made an agreement together. It's here in blue. I want you to know that to achieve that agreement, we have to move through 3 sort of thought exercises. Here they are. 1, 2, 3. Above that is the link that I just gave you. You need the SWAT team standing by to help, and you need these 3 points. And the first one is going to be the moment you have to sort of get grounded, oriented in the big picture. By the time we get to the second and third point, we're going to be building things together so that you're really getting an advantage. All right. Now, if you raised your hands earlier, you might want to take them down so that way I don't call on you thinking that you have a question, because we will be taking questions and discussing things as this unfolds. Here's my first point. I want to start with how we all got here in this room, so to speak, today. That's a picture of myself and my wife. I was married 37 years. Cancer took her. Almost 50 years ago, I took her for a walk on a beach. And I said, sweetheart, we had just gotten married. I was real young. And it was 42, 43. I haven't done the math. I said, sweetheart, I want to start a research lab that studies something called the internet. Do you know what she said? She said, the inter what? Nobody had ever heard of the internet. The internet was this new thing, and there were no websites. It was in Unix. You couldn't do any business. But I had this deep conviction that it was going to be a place where transactions happened. People didn't believe me. I used to talk about banking and then I stopped talking about it because I lost all credibility. Media, banking, transactions. We didn't say e-commerce back then. We didn't know that word. And I said, most people are going to see it as a channel, but I see it as the greatest laboratory in the history of the world for studying the answer to a single, all-important, life-changing, philosophical, theological, commercial question. If I am, here's the question. Why do people say yes? Not any yes. That's boring. I'm interested in the yes that precedes a transformation. I'm interested in the person that tried 14 fitness routines, failed in all of them, and number 15, they kept it. Their life has changed. Their stasis changed. That's called metanoia in the Greek. I was interested in studying the yes that leads to transformation, to metanoia. And here's what I thought. If the internet becomes what I think it will become, thousands of people, millions of people will make decisions, and I can trace their digital footprint in that decision and unpack an answer to a philosophical, theological question that has plagued scholars for years because they had no science. I didn't know at the time I was pioneering something called experimental philosophy. It's a thing now. Back then, it felt a little odd because I was a philosopher and theologian, and I went on later and trained in those areas with the Jesuits and others, and I'm trying to figure out how to bring that into this, trying to understand the connection. Here's what we did. We took a building on the beach. I hired a research assistant. About a week into the negotiations and setting up the office, I asked the owner of the building, how many open bays do you have? He said, we have 9. I said, I'll take them all. I took every open bay. I don't know why. It was an intuition. Look at my notes, folks. That's how it started. Today, when we're like meeting with the New York Times or something, these are 4 slides that talk about our history. By the way, there's no commercial here. I'm telling you a story so you understand why we can do what we're about to do, which was not possible. Hear me. It's not been possible since the history of the world. It's not been possible until recent weeks or months. But way back then we started. You can see in 1990, we began doing research in the 90s, and all this unfolded. We built companies, we bought companies, we built a research program. But I made $138 million that we plowed into research partnerships, that we even achieved through research partnerships, and we ran more than 10,000 experiments to answer the question, why do people say yes? This kept growing until we were all over the world, and we interviewed 500,000 executives and all of this massive library. We studied the library. We extracted it into heuristics. We put the heuristics in algorithms. I can think of a business, they paid us $1 million a month, by the way. I can think of one experiment that, by their reckoning, produced $2 billion. $2 billion. Actually, that was a series. Sorry. To be exactly accurate, or at least the first experiment produced $200 million. Before the series was done, it was over $2 billion. Folks, I'm not making that stuff up. You can see it down here. We built Expedius. We tested multiple languages. We tested with the New York Times. We built the digital version of the New York Times. We were with them. We ran 300 cell paths on our servers while we ran alternates, testing the hypotheses and the psychological variables that I was studying in the lab. You say, where does all this connect with us? It connects exactly with you. I'm asking, if you are tracking and you're excited, pay attention. If you're thinking, where's this going? Give me 60 seconds, give me 90 seconds, and you'll see why I told you the story. Fast forward. 5 years before GPT was announced, anybody knew who OpenAI was? Hardly in the main world. We announced at a major state university that we were launching our AI research. 210 days before ChatGPT, this is a picture of a group of us that came together and began to build research cohorts testing key elements. There was no MeclabsAI. There was a ton of research. There were 10,000 experiments. We were the leader. We were the first, and we were the biggest to study conversion the way we have. But I've been waiting 30 years for the moment when AI would let me leverage that library. Never wanted to be in the service business, never. And here's what it's enabled us to do. Today, this is why the answer you're going to see today is so superior to what you'll get in GPT or Claude or anyone. If you understand this diagram, you'll see why. Do you see down here this little chip, the LLM set? The way we've designed MeclabsAI, and by the way, just so you know, in a moment, I'm going to show you how to follow 10 steps and build a surge. But when I do that, I'm going to give you access to what I'm sharing. So you're not, just hear this so that you know how to use what I'm sharing and why it will really help you. The LLM set, you know what that stands for? Claude, OpenAI, Grok, whatever LLM, 1.0, 03 mini, all the APIs, they run down here at the bottom and we can switch them on and off and turn on whichever one is best for you. How many of you I was here for the PC revolution. How many of you live long enough to remember when the first PCs were rolling out? Do anybody remember that? Do you know what powered them? Keitha, I don't believe you. You can't be more than 30. Do you know what powered those? Chips. How many remember Intel? And they're in trouble right now, right? I consider the LLM my Intel chip. And I'll change it out to whichever one is best. But on top of that, we've layered the learnings from 10,000 experiments. We've built a UX that allows you with just voice to create experts and apps and to stand up libraries. And we built engineering consoles so you can build customer-facing AI-powered tools. At the top of that is you, and I'm going to say that my team even challenged me on this word 10X because it's used like marketing hype. How many of you heard it? And I'm not pointing at anybody, but you've probably heard it used in a way that's full of hype. I actually believe that's an understatement. I believe you're going to be able to say, listen, if you stay for the rest of this call, I challenge you at the end of my session today, tell me if you don't think you can do 10X what you've done before. Because I think you will be able to if you go all in. Are you ready to go from the story to the action? Okay. So we're going to go back right here. And this guy, you might say, who is this guy? I'll tell you this. If I were to click in the main platform and open up his prompts, you would see something written in his prompts that I'm just going to hint at right here in what's called a prompt master. Let me get out of that image. And look it down here. This is my database of prompts. And that guy is powered by a clean set of prompts right here. And let's just take a peek. He has all this training. He understands all of these critical pieces for how I want my responses back to you. We took the world's body of research on learning and ran a GFA algorithm against it and extracted all the best principles for teaching. This is in his prompt. We then went to the frameworks that we've patented, more than 10 of these. You can't get, these are all part of our patents in 2006. And these frameworks are powering the answers: value prop, customer first objectives, micro-OS architecture, scientific messaging. Then all of this, see the color code? It's still going. This is why you're not getting a GPT response from this guy. This is everything GPT has plus all this stacked on top. This could be everything Claude has plus this stacked on top. And that's why we are going to make something happen right now with that dude. Team, you're ready. Here we go. We're here now. We need a tangible, practical way to seize this opportunity and position ourselves to win. So here it is. I want to introduce you 10 days. It doesn't have to take 10 days, but 10 days or ways. It's 10 steps to drive this AI-powered conversion surge that we were talking about right here. And to do that, the first thing we're going to do is build an MCD. And somebody really smart a few moments ago said to me, yeah, GPT wouldn't have enough context. Do you remember somebody said that? Let me show you how to solve for that. So now what you've got to do is you're going to come over here to this one. Let me know when you can all see that. Nod at me, folks. Use your hands because you want to keep up with me now. And if you keep up with me, cool things are going to happen. All right? So I just saw, Keitha, give me a URL. Could you? I'm going to type it in right here in just a moment. Put it in chat if you would, and that way I can copy it. So I'm going to ask every one of you to get ready with your primary web page. Do you hear me? You're going to need your primary web page. You're going to be doing this with me, and I'm not going so fast you can't. If you've tried before, you won't need any prompts. All you're going to have to do is click twice, and magic will happen. So let's learn those 2 clicks. But before we go there, I'm looking at the CFD. You need to pull up your web page. So if you're working with a big enough window, split your window where you can work with me over here and you can work with your stuff over there. It'll really help. If you got more than one monitor, that's a good thing to do. While you're doing that, I want to share with you that this expert and these apps are the key, and we're getting ready to click right here. And every person on this call needs to, it won't work if you don't click on MCD Builder. MCD Builder. Watch me click, everything's going to change. Boom. See it change? It's gray and there's a button. Now you'll notice I'm in auto AI mode. Why is that cool? Because we developed this so you don't know anything about AI to start using it and get results. So in auto AI mode, you just click there. Now, what does it tell you to do? It says input the URL of your business. Keith, I'm going to take the URL you just gave me, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to place it right here, team. Watch my screen, and then do the same thing. So I click the builder, I put the URL in, I hit send. Now, it'll take a moment because there's a really powerful brain that's actually visiting the website. We do not have a normal search function. It does way more than, say, what Google does in the average search, because it scrapes the entire content of the website when that's necessary. It even gives you choice over that. It also will let you exclude or include. But what it's doing right now, you need to see. It has gone to the website. Below is an example, and here's what it's doing. It's laying out the purpose. It's doing the brand overview and mission. It's pulling out the value proposition and messaging, the audience and user segments, the website structure, navigation. All of this is being pulled into a master context document. Why is that document so valuable? Somebody tell me why it's so valuable. It's okay to guess or to speculate. Tell me why.
Because you can brief the AI with that so it understands all the most important context that informs the messaging.
That was a perfect answer. That's exactly what it's doing. How many of you have already got yours coming back? I need to see if you're getting it. Are you doing it? You got yours? Oh, this is great. Because once you have that, we can build on that foundation. Now, by the way, at the risk of hurting myself, let me share with you, you could use this in GPT or anywhere else, any other LLM. You can use it without us. You can just copy it and use it to instantly get it ready for your question. However, let me show you how we're going to use it. So going back to my notes, team, you've already accomplished the first piece of the 10 that fast. And if you think that's small, read what you just produced and ask how long it would take you or an agency to write that. Let's keep going. Because do you remember a few moments ago, we saw a customer simulator? Do you remember that? Not maybe you saw that customer simulator. Well, let me show you that the heart of the customer simulator is called an ICP. Now, you may not know what an ICP is, and this is not in my notes. So I'm going to share something. Watch. I'm clicking in my navigation, and I want to click on something called MecLabs methodology. What you're looking at is a page in my notes. It's 30 years of my life. It's more than 30. It's almost 40 years. As a young man, before I was even 13, I built a 4-part framework for achieving just about any task. The second step was the understanding of testing. That program helped us build the entire testing protocol. Every letter here is a framework in our various patents that, when combined, produced stunning outputs. All those methods, all the frameworks, all of the pieces that these are more frameworks. This is in our testing program, and even more. All of that is built in. And you'll notice the very first one is your ICP, your initial customer profile. Marketer, most of us are struggling with our offer, not because we spent too little time on the offer, but because we spent too little time on the customer. Do you hear me? Once you really know your prospect, you can do so much better at determining what they need and what they want. So what we're going to do is we're going to get inside your customer's head right now. You want to do that together? Because this will be valuable. Even if you never, ever attend a MecLabs thing again, use it. So let's go. I'm going to go back to our notes. So let's just hit the back button. And you'll notice that we have completed our MCD step 1. And we're about to complete our ICP step 2. And to do that, we're going to go back over here again. And now I want you to see something very important. Do you see all that information that you've gathered right there? That's over here in an app. See the back button? When I click here, I don't have that information. It's not in the conversation, and it's not supposed to. We don't want it to confuse us. Do you see the button I clicked? Watch. There's the app. Everybody see the little arrow at the top left? Top left arrow. That took me back. Some of you saw that instantly, but some of you didn't, and I don't want you to fall behind. Now, if I want this information, I can just copy it right here. Later, we're making this just a click, but you can copy that and drop it into the main conversation. But this keeps these side pieces from hurting you. Do you see where it says ICP now? Here's what you're going to do. You see your MCD that you just outputted? See what I'm going to do? I'm copying. Look, copy. Boom. Did you copy it? You won't see that little logo. See these little icons at the bottom? You don't see them until you slide over them. See them? They disappear. When you come over the chat, they pop there. There's the copy button. I just copied it. I think 90% of you already got this, but I don't want to leave the other 10%. Y'all with me now? You ready to move? Okay. I'm going to click on ICP Builder. ICP stands for Initial Customer Profile. Don't use your URL. We're going to do something better. Push in, just copy, just paste in your MCD, that stuff you just got, boom. And then hit the send button. So I pasted that long file that you just made with the MCD. It's all pasted in here, and I'm going to hit send. Now, let me tell you what's happening with send. This conversation is being parsed through the layers of our network across and through 10,000 experiments, not all the experiments, but through the output of a goal-focused algorithm that extracted the relevant principles. And now it's studying all of my research around identifying the ideal customer, and it's just done this for you. Let's go full screen. And I want you to see what it did. It has produced an overview of your customer and all the critical, let's get down here where you can see it better. Below is our structured output, starting with the ideal customer profile. It lays out 5 questions under each category: selection, direction. You can read yours, orientation. These answers are really important in this category, and it's designed to be a table so you could paste it into Notion or somewhere else. It is saying that the kernel of your customer's decision model rotates around these 5 critical questions, and we've answered it by first studying the MCD that you built and then going across its vast training database to determine a good segment. Wait, it's gone further, and it just invented Sarah Brooks. Sarah Brooks is a mid-career marketing professional managing a growing tech startup in a bustling urban center. In her early 40s, Sarah has spent over 15 years navigating the evolving digital marketing landscape. Marketer. Why do you think the bio of my initial customer profile, in addition to those 5 critical questions, could help me do a better job? Somebody tell me how that might help you with conversion. Jason, what do you think? I see a Jason Rashid. I've never met you before, Jason, but you seem tracking with us. Go ahead. What are your thoughts, friend?
I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, I put in my company's it's a cybersecurity firm. To be honest, mine was a little off because I don't have homeowners. I need cloud architects. But yours made a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I tell you what I would do with yours is take it to the solutions page. Instead of giving it the MCD or building your MCDs to your homepage, you can build it off your solution, like where your products are. Sometimes that's got more of the right information, and you'll get a better output.
Okay.
Now, somebody else, because Daniel Burstein, I'm going to give you the floor, Dan, in a moment to answer this question yourself. Again, does anybody know why the bio of Sarah Brooks can help me do a better job of marketing? It's making you think. I understand. Dan, you go ahead.
So, I mean, look at us all now, right? We're connecting, but it's all digital. We're not really human beings together. right? But the more you know about that person, the more you see him as a real human being, and the more you treat them differently, right? I just did an interview, and I do the How I Made It Marketing podcast. I did an interview just yesterday, I'll air in a week or two, with the founder of The Art of Shaving, who ultimately sold his company to Procter and Gamble and Gillette. I think it was for 8 figures. And one of the key things he told me, he's like, look, I'm a shopkeeper at heart. Because I asked him, how did he launch all these products? He's like, I'm a shopkeeper at heart. Actually, people came in, me and my wife, we talked to them. And when we heard the same thing from 80% of people, we're like, hey, we don't have to be geniuses here to know we should launch this product. And I think that's something that's missing. Digital has done all these amazing things in our life, but we forget there's actual other people on the other side of these interactions, right? These other people on the other side of our marketing, and the bio and some of these other things helps us really see a real human being that we can serve with customer first marketing. And that's where ultimate success lies.
It's a perfect answer. If you want to think methodology and not AI with me, let me share with you the number one reason why most of our campaigns are struggling. The number one reason. It's a hard thing to say as a philosopher because it narrows the scope, and you can't just get a good answer. You got to have the right one. And the right one is this: you have a blind spot. Now, if you're a theologian or a philosopher, you might know the source of that blind spot. If you read Nietzsche, you might know it. If you read Kierkegaard, you might know it. 2 very radically different philosophers with 2 different radical positions, but they both understood one thing: we are blinded by our self-interest. I ask a marketer, and the first thing they do is they start seeing everything through their needs. It's so hard to get out of your skin and to get in the customer's skin. Here are 3 degrees: sympathy, empathy, and incarnation. If you're really smart, sympathy is somebody telling you that they're giving you their regrets for your suffering, for instance. Empathy is when that person feels it. How many of you have seen the difference between a sympathetic person and an empathetic person? You know what I mean? And who do you want to go to? You don't even, sometimes, I didn't know this. I learned this in my marriage. My wife would bring a problem and I'd start solving it. She didn't need an answer. She needed an ear. And I was, of course, an idiot. It took me 15 years to figure that out. That's how stupid I was. But it was true. Now, wait a second. It's one thing for someone to express, some sort of sympathy. It's another thing for them to feel with some sort of empathy. But it's even more if they can incarnate, if they can get into the shoes of the other person, then they even know them better. Let's think about it those top 5 questions get my head right. This bio gets my heart right. Those top 5 questions help me know. This bio helps me feel. Do you see the difference between knowing and feeling? I can feel when I read her bio. And you know what? I'm not done with that. So here, what's this 3rd thing? Take a look at what I got. This is kind of exciting. What does it say? All right, well, it's a prompt. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it out of the app. Now look what I do, guys. I'm going to hit that little arrow at the top. Remember? I'm going to go back to Genius. I'm just going to put the prompt in that she just gave me. That prompt came, there it is. Create a photorealistic image of a professional woman in her. So Sarah is being created for you right now. Somebody tell me, based on what you've just heard, while the image of Sarah, there it is, why the image of Sarah could be as important as the bio. Tell me why. What does the image help you do?
It helps to humanize them so you feel like you're talking to an actual person rather than an abstract segment.
You said it perfectly. The story and the picture help me. I don't like this picture. It's the first track. I could have said, give me 3. It had produced 3, but it took longer, so I didn't. Look, I can come over here. Watch what happens next. Now, watch my mouse or you'll miss out because you're going to be able to use this tomorrow. I got a week plan for you that will change your business. Watch when I click regenerate. If I start to click that, the actual prompt comes and I can change it of a smiling, whatever I don't like, a woman in her early 40s, determined yet approachable expression. That's why she looks so stern. I'm going to take out determined yet approachable. Now I'll leave it. She has, and it's describing it. If I needed more time, I could do more, but that's it. And now I can recreate that image with that prompt by just regenerating it. Or I can come over here. Look, gang, I can do almost anything I need to do with this image right now. Not some small thing. Let's scroll down. Look, I can crop it. I can fine tune the saturation. I can change it into, look, see the colors changing? I can edit it. I can apply filters to it. I could make it black and white. And it's not hard. It's self-explanatory. I can put a nice color on it, and I can make this a little bit better with her smile and put it on the wall with her bio. You know what I did in other businesses? I built posters with a picture and the bio of the customers we're serving. That's where you need Betsy for. Get them up in front of your people. Help them identify with your customers. Be the shopkeeper, Dan said. Talk to your customer. Imagine your customer. Don't be sympathetic, be empathetic. And if possible, be incarnational. Get deep into her problems. Are you learning? Is this valuable for you? You got your ICP? Good. Now, some of you right now could go make a picture. Hit that little arrow and get your picture. And now you should have a really valuable document. We're going to use it tomorrow and the next day. If you continue this surge with me, you need each piece we're building right now. So make sure you're getting it. Now I'm going to pause. It is almost time for a short break. And then we got really cool stuff to do. But how many of you, tell me what's the most important thing you're walking with right now? Anybody, just raise your hand. What's something that you think the group should pay attention to that might be helpful, that resonated with you? But I'm gonna ask somebody to start. I'm gonna ask Christy to get us started, then somebody else can help. Go ahead, Christy. That's a great point. That's a great point. Let me ask Charles Wallace. Charles, what are your so what we've done so far? What resonates with you, or what would you call out for the rest of the group to pay attention to, friend?
Well, I really dig the imagery. I'm a designer at that in the beginning before my marketing experience. And so I love the imagery. I created an initial image, and then I changed the image to a couple that were and it's done great. It's very inspiring, actually. And I mean, I've tried to explain this to clients and people who can't create imagery in their head and imagine something. This is a great tool for that, to just give them something to see.
You know, Charles, since you said that, I'm going to tell you something I do with images that I have never taught before. I use them to inspire myself. I will sit here and roll a prompt out to get a picture, and I'll make 4 or 5 of those, and I will use those to somehow shake something loose inside of me or help me see something I'm missing. And it's really powerful because you can be as creative as you can put into words. And team, we're just getting started. Take a look at where we're at and what you've done. We're on the second point. Remember, tangible, practical. We're trying to get tangible. We've built an MCD and it knows so much about our business. You should save that and always have that ready. You are now building an ICP. I have a pro tip, advanced question for you. If you just built one of these and you're running a good business and it's growing and you want to double down on the ICP idea, what else could you do with that idea?
Hello, could I say something?
Sure.
Cool. I was just going to say, I think you could actually copy and paste what you've received in the ICP section, put that into a chatbot so you can essentially have access to your ideal client and talk with them 24/7. I think that's a great use case.
You can literally build in here with a button push. You can build that guy, Jeremiah. And so you're right on point there. That's smart. If you're going to do that, though, if you're going to do that, Jeremiah, why not ask Marketing Genius to help you identify your main marketing segments? Why not do this for each segment? Why not do it with, like, if you have a team member, do it together as a lunch and learn. We're going to get all of our segments. Here's how I would do that. Watch. If I go back to the same guy and I'm going to close out the image editing capability. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload everything. And there's a reason I'm doing that. I want it all to start over. By the way, when I put one of these devices on a website to interact with customers, the website becomes unnecessary. Did you hear me? You can't believe what we're doing in that area. So stay with me while that's producing for me. What we're going to do next is we're going to build and analyze your value prop. That's the most important thing that will drive conversion this week, getting it better. Once you have that right, I'm going to show you something amazing. And then I'm excited about this. We don't want to run out of time. I'm going to break open this whole approach for how we take a work week and transform our business. Look at the third point. Look at it. We need to see how just 1 week could start the transformation. So that's coming after a break. I'm going to take, it's 2 minutes to the hour by my clock, 2 minutes after the hour, 4 minutes from now, I'm going to start teaching again. Go ahead and stretch, meet somebody on chat. Your next business partner might be right here. Your next customer might be right here. And there's some old pros on here that have been with us for a while. Part of the guild. Betsy, wave. Keitha, would you wave? Christy, would you wave? And any of the experience, there may be some others, ask them a question. Ask them anything, because they've been on this journey longer and they've learned some things that might help you right now. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Take care. We're still determining if we'll release the entire piece, but if so, we'll be releasing it on a special page for you, along with the steps that you need to take this week, and we'll teach you how to do that. More's coming. The best stuff's still ahead. I'm going to give us 2 more minutes, and I'm going to start again. While we're doing that, somebody introduce yourself. Jeremiah, what business you in?
Hello. Yes, my name is Jeremiah. I'm primarily a consultant, so I consult for global corporations all over the world, teaching executives how they can use AI in their daily lives. I run a YouTube channel called Everyday AI, and I guess that's sort of the main business at the moment. So I post about new AI tools every single day on YouTube. I've already had a couple sort of collaborations and sponsorships from startups that have come out of Y Combinator, so that's going quite well. Thank you very much, Nathaniel. And I'm also the head of content and AI for, funnily enough, also called ICP, but I'm referring to the blockchain, which is about the 35th biggest cryptocurrency. It's an AI-powered blockchain. I'm the head of content and AI for their UK hub. So yeah, those are my 3 main things. And great to be on this Zoom call. This is really some revolutionary technology you're showing right now, especially because I'm so deep in this space and I'm constantly looking through AI tools for my YouTube channel. I haven't really come across anything like this, so this is quite great. Thank you for sharing.
Jeremiah, we have influencers like you building like JeremiahJohnson.ai with code that can do, like if you've got content, we can turn it so close to you that, and then already we have, like, do you see this device in front of me? You can sell that with a subscription. Like, it will put up a paywall and you can literally create your own team of experts, apps, and libraries, put it in front of people, help them get value, and then it'll gradually convert them to a subscription for you. You can take the same device you're seeing right here, and we have people all over building lead generation devices in front of their website, and it meets the customer and does a better job than their personnel at getting a close or getting a lead.
Wow.
So keep thinking like you're doing. You're on the right track, buddy. Yes, Alfredo, you want to say something? You're on mute. Alfredo, I'll tell you what's happening is, you guys are seeing the front end of the powerhouse, the real powerhouse. I'll show it to you guys. If you have just watch my screen, because you won't normally see this. Look over here. This tool will completely build custom AI headlines driven with all of my methodology, 10,000 experiments. It's killer. Or go over here, and this tool will build end-to-end your super profile using AI, your web pages. It's robust. It's powerful. And like it's building the learning experience. These blueprints over here, they're not templates. They're from our experiments. We have powered them with the 8 micro yeses that drive conversion, and you can change them any way you need to. Colors, everything. It's all part of this back end. And the reason I said that is here's all the training. You can get trained. These are live. Like take the video classes right inside the tool. While you're doing the work, you can take the class. What I found, Alfredo, is there's a lot of certified partners coming to us, and they're building like a solution for plumbers that has our core with experts and apps just for plumbers, not plumbers per se, but like tradesmen or travel or real estate agents or financial planners. You could build a piece that does all the marketing for any plumbing operation right here, end to end, and carries it for you. And then you could build another piece that saves on a lot of the automated work you're doing, that just automates it all by AI without programming or software. That's what people are doing. I know, it's crazy. We're living in a revolution. Team, I'm ready to start again. You ready to keep going? Can we keep attacking? All right. I'm going to go to my next piece. Let me get my camera on. And away we go. All right. Here's the next piece. Again, if you can use your video, put it on. If you can't, we understand. Let's go to the third piece. We've got an MCD. We've got an initial customer profile that we can turn into multiple segments, or we could turn into a customer simulator. Now, from 30 years of research, if I were to nail the fundamental reason people do not say yes, it's because they have not clearly perceived the value proposition. Do you hear me? That doesn't matter whether it's your teenage child who's doing something stupid that's going to hurt them. They have not properly considered the value proposition. And it's the same. I mean, I'm a philosopher. It applies in every area of your life, but let's apply it to commerce right now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back here. Click on the new value prop analyzer. See that right there? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to, let's watch this. Somebody I don't know. I'm going to say HR consulting. Boom. I'm going to just go through Google. I'm going to go down to the fourth page. I don't like that. I want a real agency. Recruitment agent, recruiting. HR advisory, consulting, human resource. So let's see who these guys are. All right, there's a business. Okay, there's a website. I'm just going to go boom, Control C. I'm going to go back to my CAD and I'm going to put that URL right here, but I have changed it to Value Prop Analyzer, and I'm going to hit go. And now while you're watching, go ahead and do that yourself. Take your web page. Now, I'd like you to listen on 2 levels. I'd like you to listen with 2 sets of ears. I'd like you to listen for what you could do for yourself, but ask yourself, what's the pro play? Once I've got this, what can I do with this value prop? Be thinking about that. But before you go there, I'm going to go full screen. And what you're seeing is, I think you're Platinum Consulting, to evaluate, I need the entire homepage content. Something blocked it. If you have that problem, just do this. Control-Alt, Control-C. I just copied it, just in case it has something blocking my crawler, and I'm going to paste that in. Control-V, and hit go. So all it did was say, I see it, but I'd like to look more. And so we're going to let it study it. And here's what it's about to do. Well, let's give it a second while it's doing that. How many of you already got back one of your results? By the way, when I'm in full screen here, because I'm on my studio, it's not as big as if I were to take this up to a different monitor. You have a lot more workspace than it looks like probably on your own. Look what it's done. It has scored that value prop across the 4 criteria that I discovered from 10,000 experiments are the core elements which power the persuasion force of your value prop. What I mean by that is if somebody said, I'd like to buy your product, or maybe you said to somebody, buy my product, and they said, why should I? The words that come out of your mouth right after that, if they're tuned up properly, I can measure them with science, and I can tell you how big the impact will be on conversion. And in this case, it's measuring it. The first thing you need to understand is that a value prop is an ultimate reason. It is the capstone of an argument. It is a mental monopoly. And a great value prop is powered by 4 conclusions. Full stop. If you're here right now and you say, I want to know more about that, then later, if I have time, I'll share with you the main site for MeclabsAI.com. But let me just share with you what's absolutely free for you to do. You can go to MeclabsAI, that's the main site, and it says Learn the Science. Do you see this? Everybody see that link, Learn the Science? Learn the Science, Learn the Science, Learn the Science. Click right there and get down to the section on value prop. Value proposition definition, value proposition danger. Click it, and right there, what I'm not teaching today is waiting for you right there. What I'm not teaching today is rating. And you know what's cool about it? Is it's called a fast class. We deliver 40 minutes of research in 10 minutes. 40 minutes in 10. And I'll tell you something else. The whole course is here. And you can take it and get certified in MEC100 right here. It has quiz, assessments, everything. If I go back to the main page of this, here's the overview. You can get the whole, this is the overview of the course. You can read all about it. Just come here. Learn the science right there. One more thing for you right now, team. Some of these things I'm layering in on purpose at different points. Don't miss this. This is MeclabsAI.com. Somebody put in the URL from my team, please. This is where you build a super funnel. This is where you build a headline. This is where you learn the core science from 10,000 experiments. And this is an entire community standing by with a whole process to hold your hand and help you catch up with what we're doing and do it yourself. It's right here for you. All that's rating. Now, while you're looking at that, I want to go back here and I want to come back to my core score. And I'd like you to really study this. It has broken down the 4 conclusions. Yes, I want this. Appeal, exclusivity. It's given it an 8 out of 10. Appeal, a 9. Clarity, a 9. And credibility, an 8. And you can score this. It actually explains why it scored it that way. And now I've got something I can work with. How many of you can get this far? Because now comes the fun part. Did you get this? Did somebody get this? If you got this, nail me. Now let's talk about some things we can do with it. I'm looking to you. Somebody tell me one creative thing you could do with this piece of information. Okay. Well, you know what I'd want to do if I wanted to share that with my marketing team? Here's a pro tip. If you miss this, you're going to be sorry. Look in the right-hand column. See where it says share? Look in there. See my screen? See share? See where it says share? See right there? Share. See that link? Share. You got to see that. You know why? Here's how you get your team involved. Watch. Click. Boom. Create link. Copy link. Let's go to a new URL. Let's just paste it in. Watch what happens. Look at the shared link coming up. Now this entire conversation is here. There is the original. There is the output with all the things we discovered about your value prop. And if you want to keep talking in the CFD, look here, continue this conversation. And the friend you sent this to can have the CFD. It'll pop up over here. There it is. And they can continue the same chat, refining it. Jeremiah, you might have said, hey, put this into a Facebook ad. And you send it to them, they create the Facebook ad using AI, and bang, they're in business. That's the share feature. And it's so simple that you might underestimate its power, but you can do team workflows, clients. Guys, I'm running ads to shared chats. Wait, think about that. What if you spooled up a powerful AI conclusion and ran an ad to it? Hold on. I'm back here again because I haven't shared with you the answer. I saw in chat some good ones. I'm going to get out of the way and I'm going to show you what I would do with this. Well, the first thing I would do is Why don't you identify your top 3 competitors and have it create a chart? Run the same thing you just did on your number 1 competitor. Try that. Then, if I did it right now, it would take time. Imagine I've got both of them. Then I would come back to here, to this genius, and I'd say, compare mine with theirs and tell me how to beat it. Wait a second, that's real. You could do that right now. Compare my value prop with their value prop and tell me how to field a superior answer. But while you're thinking about that, watch what I really do. I got my genius up. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to value prop analyzer. I'm gonna copy that conversation so I can use it with my genius over here. I'm just gonna paste it in. Now, generally I like to paste my instructions at the top. You can put them at the bottom, but I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a little room. Hit shift when you wanna do that so that it doesn't send the chat. And now I'm gonna talk to it. And since I've pasted that in, I'll just say this. Create my 6-month content strategy. And I might want it to be multi-touch. So I'll say multi-touch, like text or email, around my best version of the value prop. All right, now, by the way, I'm not going to correct the spelling on the other places. I only correct spelling if I think it impacts judgment. Now what's happening is this genius has my outputs, and he's going to start thinking about how we could create content that communicates the value proposition, rich and powerful. Do you see what's going on here? The value prop is just the start. My next, while that's going on, watch what I would do next. I'm going to start using the way I do voice all the time. So I'll let it search and I'll go here, watch. Now I need to teach my team the methodology, period. We're going to run a 90-day campaign, period. Please produce a 7-day course on the value proposition, period. I need it to be 30 minutes a day, use advanced pedagogy, and help my team use this in a lunch and learn type of environment, period. Produce the overview, and once I approve it, we'll write the courses. Stop the recording and hit go. Now, hold on. While that's going on, I got all this spooling up. Now I need to teach my team so I've this next answer coming up. And this one it's still thinking. I'm not sure why. We'll give that a moment. I'll come back to it. What else could I spool up? I can come over here, and now I've got a course in value prop that my team can learn. I might say this. I might go to that same genius and hit this button, and I might say, oops, it recorded me. So let me get that out and record. Here we go. Ready? I might say this. I need the lead nurturing follow-up series for any leads that come in as they respond to the value proposition in my content marketing, period. Make it multi-touch, write the emails and the text. Show me the recency science and the underlying interval logic so that I can be confident in the timing of these sends. Now, I'm going to let all that spool up, and I'm going to come back over here and just talk for a moment. When I change the LLMs like Powering Genius, if I go to 01, it's slower, but it's more reasoned. If I shift it to Grok, I get a different. So I have it right now at 03 Mini, powering all of our work beneath it, so that what it's doing is it's taking more time to think and produce a really good output. And I'm back here with all that going on. All right. Are you ready? Dan, in just a moment, I'm going to call on you to do the next cool thing together. How many of you realize that AI might be able to change your own personal capacity? How many of you are starting to get excited about the fact that you might be capable of things that you couldn't do before, and you can do them now with these new capabilities? Would you nod at me and wave at me if that's the case? Now, I don't have this on purpose, and there's no link, and I'm not selling it, but I took all my research and I wrote a book. This is an old version of it called The Marketer is Philosopher. And in it, I teach the 4 kinds of value props. But you know what I never put in a book? There's a 5th kind. It's called the personal value prop. And here's what I'd like you to do now. In just a moment, we're going to see if we can determine what your personal value proposition might be. How many of you think if I knew my value prop as an entrepreneur or as a marketer, it might help me do a better job in the world of finding the right opportunities and knowing where I fit? I also might see ways to improve it. How many of you would like to go into 2025 and leverage AI to get better? Yes. All right. Reload your CFDs. Dan, I'm going to show them something that's based on a kernel of an idea that you and I discussed in just a moment.
All right.
And I'll pause, let you speak for a moment because I may have missed something. There may be a question, and then we'll start that piece.
Yeah, Flint, maybe you can speak to this. There's some questions about, the MCD where you're putting in a URL. Okay, you're building a master context document from the URL. And then people are kind of, there's two questions around that. One is people are worried about, well, there's garbage in, garbage out. Well, if your website wasn't that great, then your master context document won't be that great. And then the other question too is, what if you don't have the website yet, right? What if you're in a pre-business phase? What if you're starting to build your business? So what I was trying to explain to people, and I'd love for you to build on, is you're kind of showing people a little quick shortcut hack to get things quickly, but there are deeper ways you can use MecLabs AI to build this, such as building libraries off of transcripts from customer calls, off of customer forum comments, customer views, and also all the different value proposition tools where if you don't even have a business yet, you can brainstorm with to build a value proposition. So do you want to speak about that just for a moment?
Yeah, actually I will. And team, let's start with the first one. I'll tell you what I'd do if I was starting a business in a new category. I would do an MCD on my competitors. Then I would ask Marketing Genius to review the MCDs and tell me how to field a better offer than all of them. That's the starting point. That's the starting point. The value of the MCD is to provide content. Let's suppose you don't have the business yet. You got a business plan? Do you? Convert it to a PDF, upload it, and it'll build your MCD from your business plan. Did you hear that? You got a bunch of notes in Google Docs? Upload the Google Doc notes and have it where you build the MCD from what it can. You can even ask it, what's missing? What do I still need? And it'll help you find the missing elements. If that answers your question, I think that answers one of them. Or does that answer both of them, Dan?
Well, I also want to ask, when we talk about using the link for the MCD, do you want to talk about, I know, for example, there's some companies you're working with that are doing a lot deeper work than just simply putting in a link. Like the call transcripts and some of that stuff. And
let me tell you what I've got happening right now. We have, for instance, 28,000 chat transcripts being analyzed for a business. We took the ones that led to a sale and those that didn't. And we have Conversion Pro analyzing the ones that sold and figuring out what the differences in the conversations, isolating the variables, identifying the objections, and creating coaching for the call center. That's all happening in this platform. You're seeing the simple applications, but there's a gigantic studio behind this, and it's amazing. And you can see the outputs even now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the way I've been screen sharing. So give me a second, because I want to make this a little easier for you to see. And I'm going to make it larger, and I'm going to I'm going to share a different screen. So give me 1 second, and I think I'll have that just right. So I hit share, and I think I'm going to get it right. It's really tricky getting this right. I think that's the one. That's it. Now you can see the outputs better, right? And take a look at this output. Remember the course? Wait a second. Let's go back to what we did before. Hold on. So there's the content strategy. Remember, 6 months, your objectives and goals. There's your audience and messaging. This is a 6-month content strategy based on that value prop. Audience messaging pillars, channels and tactics. This is for the monthly breakdown. And I could take your entire performance data from your last campaigns, feed it into a what's called a library here, and then analyze it to make this even tighter. Look, it's still going. This is the whole 6-month plan. Once you approve it, I can pull up another expert, you haven't seen this one yet, called Project Planner, and he'll convert it to a project plan. I got a whole team of pros that'll help you build a business. Now wait. Look at this 7-day course of the value proposition. There's your introduction and course overview. There's your deep dive into appeal and exclusivity, 2 of the key elements. There's your clarity. And if I said write day 4, it'll write it. And if I said teach me day 4, it'll start teaching it to me right here in real time. Take a breath, guys. I'm not a speaker trying to entertain you for an hour and a half. I don't have time to entertain people. My whole life is about understanding the answer to one question: why do people say yes? And the frustrating thing was, once I cracked the code and we drove billions of dollars, it was almost impossible to find, train, and teach people. It took me 5 years to build my own personnel at the level I needed them. And here comes AI. I've been waiting my whole life for this, and some of you have too. You didn't know you're waiting on AI, but you were waiting on your chance. Some of you are on this call right now and you don't even trust your IQ. You don't feel you're as smart as other people and you're insecure about it. And it might be you are very smart and you had a really bad teacher or a really bad parent who beat you up and makes you think that way. Or it may be that you know that you're above average intelligence, but you're no Elon Musk. You just got an IQ of 200. Come back in a month. It'll be more than any human being you've ever met. I'm not kidding. Come back in a month. By the end of the year, it might be more than all the human beings in the world. Your IQ is not your excuse anymore. Do you hear me? It's not your IQ that's going to make you successful. It's your energy and your character combined with that IQ. Now, I'm 123. I've got to make every moment count. As I told you, if you went all in, I'd go all in. And I don't want to leave anything out. I want to lay it all on the table before we're done. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you to listen faster. I'm going to ask you to listen with more earnestness. And I'm going to come over here right now and I'm going to change my gallery and I'm going to try to get more done. And the thing I'm going to do right now is probably one of the most exciting things. And the problem is, this is in auto AI mode, and I'm going to have to take you out of auto AI mode to show you something I built for you today. No one's ever seen this before. Here's the backstory. After all this research and this book, once I began to discover the power of the personal value proposition, I agreed to one lecture at Harvard. It was called Chosen. It went viral. People were crying. I turned the research on itself, and I said, student, and the alumni were there too. Judges were there. A lot of people were there. Why would anybody choose you? I want to talk today about the fifth P, the personal value proposition. Now, why is that important to you? Because I think in the age of 2025, when you are in the midst of the greatest revolution, to hit the world, the greatest, nothing, the wheel, fire, nothing compares with what's happening right now. It won't be enough for AI to grow. How many of you understand you've got to grow? Do you hear me? You've got to grow. You got to take risk. You got to settle with your fear. You got to join a community. You got to invest energy and whatever money it takes. Because if you get left behind, you are really left behind. This is your chance to grow. Let's give you the foundation for personal growth right now. Here's how you do it. Watch what I do next, because this is new. Beneath this simplicity is an engine so robust that I can't describe it to you. But I can start to tap into it when I click on this little toggle. See the toggle? See that little toggle right there? Auto AI mode. You've been in that the whole class. I'm going to take it off now. Watch. Boom. Do you know why that happens? Because when you have the full power of MeclabsAI, let's just go right here, home. When you have the full power, not this, that's the old version, which is going away. This is the new version. It's going to pop up for you in a moment, working here. You have a whole team of people. Look at these experts. Look, marketing genius, conversion pro, marketing professor, app maker, library maker, data scientist. He can analyze your P&L, price strategist, event strategist, and all these custom apps, FAQ builder, value prop analyzer. We just used it. Agent maker, that builds your lead gen agent and puts it on your website for you. Competitive, look, you see this? This is a whole team. And that team is standing by and you can get them. What I'm doing in today's event is releasing the ones you need to do a 10-day surge, and we're on it. But if you really want the power, all you do is you just click here, or Jan, somebody put it in the URL. Skip that. Go to the pricing, buy it if you want it, and get the whole team working for you. I'm not here to sell that. I'm just saying, I can't imagine trying to grow a business without it. But I'm going over here. And I'm going to take you in the tool. And I'm going to notice, watch, see this conversion library, see that thing right there? Watch it go away. Gone, back. That's the thing you got to get. That's the only thing you got to get. Gone, back. So, because tomorrow you're going to need to be able to take off this mode, click into this mode, because here I'm going to be loading new experts for you and new apps so you can do your 10-day thrust. And I'm going to teach you what to do about that in just a few moments. But first, look at this new app, Personal Value Prop Analyzer. Open them up. Open up Personal Value Prop Analyzer. Now I'm going to want you to watch what I do here. I go over, let's go, brand new page. Let's go to LinkedIn and go to your profile. Most of you've got a LinkedIn profile right now. You're going to need your LinkedIn profile to make this thing work. So I'll go to mine, and there it is. And you know, I could, like, if I want to be really thorough, like show all, you can hit some of these show alls and open them up, see more. Like I want that one open. Some of these you might want to open and then just do this. Watch what I do. Drag your mouse all the way down like that with your wheel until you've got this part copied. Okay. And it still keeps going. Okay. Anyway, now I don't want the nav, so I'll just slide up, and I don't want that. I'm just going to stop right there, and I'm going to do Control C. I got a copy of it now. I'm going to go back to my analyzer, and I'm just going to push in. I'm just going to paste it. You can't send the URL because LinkedIn will block it.
Hey, Flint, can you show one more time where to find the Personal Value Prop Analyzer, please?
Yes. I'm going to hit send, and I'll show you where it is. It's down here. You have to hit that little arrow and then come back to these library AI. See this little drop down, and you go over here and you pick it from apps. It's not in experts, it's in apps. Personal Value Prop Analyzer right there. And Personal Value Prop Analyzer is currently reading my LinkedIn profile. You want to see what it does? Let's see. So now that you've got it, let me go full screen. See, it's much bigger. By the way, do you see this thing at the bottom? Everybody, please, I know your mind is thinking probably about your value prop. You don't want to miss this. I'm teaching you how to use the tool so tomorrow you can use it. This is actually built by MecLabs. It analyzes the quality of every response, and it scores its own response. In this case, it gave itself a perfect score. It doesn't always do that. It did because it knows this answer is dead on. It analyzed the clarity, the use of headings, academic tone, visual community, all the things, and it uses a logic engine that we custom built. And every time you get a meaningful response, there'll be this chart at the end, and it tells you how reliable is your response. But let's go and see what we just built. Oh, I got to go back to the app. All right, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go here. Let me see if let me go to my value prop analyzer, and there it is. All right, I need to paste my LinkedIn right there. So value prop analyzer is up. I don't want that one up. I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. Let's go back to my app. Boom. Let me go to watch for my click, auto AI mode, AI conversion, apps, personal value. There it is. That's the thing I just did. I opened Value Prop Analyzer. That's all I did was open it, and I pasted LinkedIn. Look what it's doing. Enhance cover image concept for Flint McGlaughlin's profile. What it's doing is it's studying the design of the layouts. And wait a second, that's personal value prop. There you go. There's the layout hierarchy. There's a rational pedagogical underpinnings, and there's the next steps. Nick, that doesn't seem right to me. Let's try that again. Team, the response didn't seem right. So I'm just going to go back in and do it from the beginning. Let's all start from the beginning. I'll take it off. I'll minimize it. Remember, we all started with this right here. All right. If you didn't get it right, let's try it again. I'm going to click here, auto AI mode. And I don't see it. I need my team. I'm going to keep moving in my notes so I don't run out of time. I'm not sure if there's a problem or it's just me. So Steve Beeger, will you confirm this and get Nick involved who prepped for me? We pre-tested this multiple times and it works bulletproof. So I just need to understand what's going on here. In fact, what I
Got
want
a
to
pretty
do,
interesting output if you want to see mine, Flint.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead while we're checking this. Dan, show us your output.
Do you want to stop sharing your screen for a sec?
I'll stop my share.
Here, let me.
By the way, while Dan is doing that, how many of you are getting outputs? Some of you paste this in and you're getting a value prop analysis? All right, go ahead, Dan.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, well, ask me to verify it first, but I thought this was interesting. Yeah, it had an analysis there, a simulated interview, and I love this, a TED Talk outline, the art of actionable marketing. So here's a TED Talk I'm going to do. I thought that was a lot of fun.
So the way this is designed is it looks at your LinkedIn profile. Scroll up, Dan, and it's done the same thing with me. It determines, first of all, what it thinks is your value proposition. It scroll back down a little bit if you would. It verified, but look, here it is figuring it all out. Then, in order to highlight the power of that value proposition, it simulates an interview. Scroll on down, Dan. This is literally an interviewer interviewing Dan, and the questions and answers are designed to tease out Dan's personal value proposition. And then to sort of say, okay, your personal value prop is probably at the heart of your best product. So what would be your TED Talk based on what we can discern from all this? And it outlines your TED Talk. With that in mind, I've got my pieces over here working, but Dan, you want to comment to this and anybody else before I move to my final section?
So I'm going to the upper left. I'm clicking the share button right here.
Watch this, guys.
Right. I'm going to change this to, I guess, just my name, Flint? Should I make that about Daniel Burstein? How about that?
Yes.
I'm going to create a link. And I am going to copy that link and I'm going to share it in the chat so everyone can see.
I'll tell you what your assignment is, team. This is what I dare you to do. Let me take the screen share and I'll show you as I speak, and you can really get the sense of what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I want to make sure I share the right screen. That's always tricky here. I have giant monitors and they're everywhere. All right, so when you look at this screen, let's go to my notes. I actually did a shared chat from me. I went to my LinkedIn and pasted it in. Now notice that's just the LinkedIn stuff. See, that's the mess from LinkedIn, but it's all being set up and organized. See all that? Now watch. It's analyzing 35 years of focused research, clear emphasis on conversion psychology and offer response optimization, extensive research with top brands, Times, Google, Bank of America. That's my credibility. Appeal, exclusivity. Here's a summary. You communicate a well-defined science-based approach that unambiguously explains how choices are made. This is AI's read on me. Don't you want to have AI's read on you? Now, even as it does this, look what it's doing next. Here's my interviewer. Thank you for joining us today. Could you briefly describe your approach to understanding why people choose a particular product or person? Good opening. And there I start. Absolutely. I've spent over 3.5 decades deciphering the factors that drive a yes response. Sound funny? I'm reading an interview with myself. And AI built it, but this isn't a gimmick. This isn't to impress you. This is really, when you read the interview, you can start to see what other people think about you. How many of you feel like your own interest makes it hard for you sometimes to judge yourself, to see yourself the way? Most of us don't realize how lacking we are at really understanding the way we're viewed by others. Look, and there's my TED Talk. Let's see what it is. Introduction, brief personal journey, a snapshot of your 35-year research. That's what I started with today, come to think of it. The core question, why do people say yes? Bridging science and philosophy, the 4 MecLabs principles, impacts and case studies, the future of see what's going on? That's my TED Talk. It's not that I'll ever deliver that at TED Talk, but it's reading my body of work and saying, this is who you are. This is what you stand for. This is how you serve people. Somebody tell me something you could do creatively with this right now. Yes? Okay. I don't mind that. And I thought about having somebody work with you in chat, but I'm going to show the whole group because I'll bet you somebody else is still having trouble too. Okay. It starts here. This is the way you normally see it. When that guy's head sticking up above, you're in auto mode. down here. Okay. And then over here, there's two different modes. And I'm going to reload this because I have so many chats in here. Let's just start from scratch. If you came, some of you might need to start from scratch. If your chats get really, really heavy, you're sending back lots of stuff. It's spooling up and loading, and it's auto here. Now I have two things I can do. See that auto AI mode that I just clicked off? It's on. When I click that off, do you see these two things that appear at the bottom? Toggles? Right there. Okay, reload your page then. You may be having a same thing I did. I had to reload my page just to, because of my browser. Reload your page, and if you still have a problem, reach out to Steve Bigger. Okay, and I'm not worried. Vivian will help you get this. If you don't, we'll get on the call afterwards and help you. It's what I do. I'm here to help you. All right? All right, team. So take a look for just a moment. How many of you are interested in, somebody share with me, who got an output that interested you? Anybody get an interesting output when they tried their personal value prop? While you're answering that question, I could take my own personal one right here that just came in. I can say, continue this conversation. I clicked on that little button at the bottom, and it's going to spool MecLabs up so I can keep talking about my value prop. See that? And I'm going to go full screen, and I got this genius up, and I'm going to ask this guy a question. In fact, what I might do, just to make sure he's reading it, is I'll go back over here to my to my personal value prop analyzer. Let's just go click that off. When I click over here, the app, it'll bring that app in. I'm going to copy that just to make sure it's read it. Then I'm going to go hit this button back to Genius. And I'm going to say, read this and tell me here's a very important thing. Value propositions are not just determined, they're discovered. They often come from the DNA of the founder. Read this and tell me what products I might be able to develop based on my personal value prop. Folks, that's where it starts. It starts with who you are. There's no such thing as business and personal. All business is personal. And I'm going to take that value prop output, paste it right there, and start that chat. Now, I'm not talking to the app now. I'm talking to an expert, a genius, trained in many things. And I'll get his inputs and outputs on what I've just said as I go forward. Now, come back over here with me. Anybody have another idea? Somebody tell me why I thought your personal value prop might influence your product. Any thoughts on that? Some of you right now need to hit the reset button in your business, and you know where the answer is? The answer is when you take the intersection between your years of experience that produced your value prop and the power of artificial intelligence to create new products in the world that can do way more than they ever could, to amplify your value prop. If you triangulate what the market needs with that personal value prop, those two pieces, with new AI-powered solutions that you can amplify in a platform like this, you can build your own experts, apps, devices, all kinds of things. You are in a new world of opportunity. Now, I can go back. I can go here, taking this is my shared chat response. Remember that response that we just got? When I actually got the response, I can edit this. Let's just go back to the tool for a moment on any chat. Watch what I do next, team. If you don't, you won't be able to use the tool. You need to invest these few minutes, and then I'm going to introduce the week, and I'm going to show you what to do your value prop. Click right there. I click my interaction history, and I can pick up what I've been working on. Now, if I pick up any chat, Dan, you didn't see this, but I actually went to you, to Marketing Sherpa, and had Marketing Genius tell me what it thought your value prop was without that tool, just reading your articles.
Oh, nice. Oh, man, I wish I missed that.
It was really interesting. So, team, you can now produce your chat by going into your history. You can click on your history. And here's what you could do right now with the output of your personal value prop. You can go over here and click this chat. Do you see the share link right there? See that shared link right there? Boom. You create a link. You can copy the link. Then you can go to social media. You can say, this is what AI tells me is my value prop. What do you think? And post the shared link. Listen, that's like a focus group. If you have any kind of presence on there and you share your value prop and ask the world to give you their thoughts, you're going to get a really balanced, well thought out research start of an answer that you can build on. You know something else you can do with it? At MeclabsAI.com, you can come right into here. Let's get out of this and minimize this so you can see it all. And you come right over here to Circle and post it in here. And we'll all interact with you on this. And you can think about, what is my potential opportunities to develop new products based on this value prop? And this, like this, all this year, you probably want to post it in general discussion. There's 27 new things in there right now, and you can talk about it with each other. Now, I'm almost done. You've done very good. We have the most important point left. We're going to build on what we've done just now. How many of you feel like you've got an MCD, an ICP, and some sense of the business value prop right now? Would you nod at me, wave at me, use the hand raise? If I have enough of you, I'm moving to point 3 and setting you up for a week of transformation. Okay? Do I have consensus? I can't tell. I saw some hand raises. Do most of you keeping up? Okay. All right. Then here's where we go next. We're going to go straight over to this third point and watch my notes. Here's my ask. If you want to really build on what you're learning today, for 30 minutes a day, even less, we will come in every day. And when your day starts, you'll come into this piece. I got to close these links and get like right here. And there'll be a message with the next step and a new expert in place so that you can do the next piece of work. And each piece of work builds on the last piece of work. And here's what we're going to do. Look here. Today, you've already built your MCD, your ICP, and your value prop. Now, spread the news. We create a social media campaign. Then field the best offer. We're going to study your competitors. This is the next day. This is tomorrow, and this would be the next business day. Then build your first AI agent to generate lead gen. Do you hear that? Oh my goodness. That one's a little tricky. We're going to help you with that. We're automating all of it, but it'll take 2 more weeks before it's automated. So we'll come alongside of you manually. I'll show you how in a minute. Nail your follow-up. Develop your multi-touch lead follow-up series. And then build momentum. And by the way, some of you, this is too much, but for those of you that can catch it, in 2 weeks, I'm teaching a new series called MEC200. This is part of our advanced postgraduate classes. It helps you build your offer from the beginning to the end. Some of you that are here now and realize there's a whole world of opportunity, if you got into that class, you would learn how to create your offer and get it ready to market. That class is in about 2 weeks. Dan can put details in or speak to it. We'll send you something on it or announce it in the product. But every day you need to come here for the next week. And every day there'll be new apps. And you got to come down here where you can click. You won't even need to be in this mode anymore. You can almost stay here and click on these apps at the bottom. The apps are experts, and we'll put new ones in here so you can do the work. And by the end of 5 business days, just 5 business days, you've even got a content marketing strategy built. You've built your follow-up for all your new leads flowing in. You've built a lead gen agent. You've studied your competitors. You've got a social media campaign. You've got your MCD, your ICP, and your value prop. You can do all that free without paying us a nickel, if that'll help you. Would you like to know what my ask is? Would you like to know what I want from this? Because I've really focused on what I'm trying to give you. I don't have a free trial. I'm just giving you this to use. It'll shut off in about a week. I don't have a special offer, nothing, guys. Here's what I want you to do. Look right here in this preview. Do you see it says Get MecLabs in your team now? Do you see that little link right there? Some of you should do it today. That's not sales. I believe that. Some of you might want to wait, try this for 2 or 3 days and do it then. But there's a whole team of experts like the ones I've introduced for you standing by. And when you click on this link, here's what you see. This is the whole team. Like, look, experts, apps, libraries, your editor, 5 seats. 5 people from your business can get in there. The cost for a month is $100, and that's for 5 people. It's less than the cost of GPT, and hear me, it's 100 times more powerful than OpenAI because they don't have the 10,000 experiments. They're not conversion focused. They're not marketing. They don't have experts. They just have GPTs. They don't have apps, not the way we design them. And they certainly don't have libraries. So you can come in here, and honestly, I think somebody is going to generate $100 million with one employee and this. I think we're going to see that day. I think it's coming. And I think that you don't need to buy this. Hear me now, because I'm going to give you this to work with for the next 4 days. But if you want the full team, and if you already know this is where I'm going, this is how I'm going to define 2025, then come in here and get on this list. Because I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're growing kind of fast, guys. I can't keep doing this, but this is what I'm going to do. Anybody that jumps in here right away, I'm going to have one of my people help you get set up right and be available, because I don't want you to have a bad first experience. Get you going. Understand what you're trying to do with the business, and we'll sort of set you up. I don't mean sell you anything. I mean a real help standing by. I'll give you a name, and we'll get on a call with you, and we'll help you if you need us. But here's more. Every day you're going to see this page, just so you understand it. There's the whole plan. See your days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to be sitting here. So when you come in tomorrow, you'll see this. You won't have this message. There'll be a message of welcome to day, 3. And it'll say, here's what we're doing today. And it'll have you a link. It might have a video. It might just have a link, whatever it is. You'll click. And when you get that link, it'll take you to the page I was just showing you right here. And all you see, don't be confused. This left link is to the CFD you're already using, that thing we just looked at. It's just a link to this, but you're already there. I'm sorry, to that, but you're already there. This is a link to that page I just showed you with, where you can buy the whole thing if you want to get your team. It's somewhere in here. There it is. All right. And let's go back again. The only thing you really need to focus on is right here. Every day, just these toggles. These are toggles. If you don't click them down, you won't see anything. It's really simple. You saw how easy today was. Here's what you'll see. 1, 2, 3 steps. It's that simple. And then look at this. If you want to see examples, there's tons of them. So you can see what the output should look like. And we just dropped that in there. Nothing in here is hard. All you would ever do is cut and paste to one of the new experts. It's all set for you right here. And there's open office hours here for this group. If you got a question, you can use any of these office hours, and one of our pros will get online with you and help you so you can get this done right. I'm going to pause. It's 1:49. I think we're starting to land the plane right. Team, help me get a good sense. Do you understand what to do tomorrow and the next day if you want to go forward? You'll come in tomorrow morning and you'll go here. Save this link. And there'll be a message for you. Follow the message. It'll take you, that message will take you to any pages you need, like this one, to start your work. And every day you'll get more. And it'll just guide you. So by the end of one business week, you should have all this done. You know what I'd do next? I'd rework my whole website. MeclabsAI will rewrite the whole thing for you. Copywriter landing pages will rewrite your entire website, bring in the 8 micro yeses, and help it. Now, while you're looking at all of those things, does anybody have a question? I have one. Yes, Jason.
I clicked on the join pricing. Is there somebody that I have to put in as a sponsor?
No, you don't have to put anybody in. I don't know where you're at, Jason. Why don't you want to screen share it?
He's talking about for the AI guild. So if there's someone that, had recommended you or something, put Flint McGlaughlin and let's get Flint a little little credit for this. Okay.
Just put my name
I kind of figured I would just put your name, Flint.
Now, Jason, you're going to the guild, and that's something I didn't want to confuse you. That's the coolest thing. People who become part of this, we put them in the guild where we train you to use the tool. There's a whole community. It's called the AI Guild, certifications, everything. My concern was if I took, and it's got badges, they're on the blockchain. We talked about Jeremiah, all the badges are digitally encrypted on the blockchain. And you can't fake it. You got to earn it. That's all in the guild. What most of you need to be on is this page. And Dan, put it in, maybe put it back in. I'm got to find it. It'll just take me a second. Is it here? No, there it is. This is where you can see the team members. And if you click on one of these, all it's going to do, this just takes you down to this same cost. All this does is put you into a simple cart and you can get started. By the way, if you try this and you don't like it, it's got a 90-day money back guarantee, 100%. So it's like, I'm not screwing around with free trial, all out of the nonsense. This is it's real. If you want to come do it, come do it. If you don't, it's okay. Stay with me on this and we'll work through all of these. Here's my question for you. How many of you, I'm asking for a commitment now, and some of you can't commit. And if you can't, and you want to start your 10 days a little later, reach out to me so you don't lose out. But how many of you are ready to commit for the next business week, 5 business days? You're going to start your day out, perform these activities, and try to position yourself better for the new year to get a conversion surge. If you're going to do that, either raise one of those digital hands or raise your hand right now so I can get a sense of how large the group is. And I'm literally shuffling through the screens. Yeah, keep going. I want to see. If you're not on video, please raise your hand because I can't tell. And I need to see how large the group is to make sure I set aside all the bandwidth you need. There you go. I see Michelle raised her hand. Good for you. All right. So anybody on here that's going to continue with that, let me know in chat or with your hand, and then we'll watch for you. And then tomorrow, Nick and I are going to release the new expert and guide you so you can get to these outputs. And with that, all you do, everybody, I'm really glad you asked that. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm looking for the right page and I'm gonna give it to you. There's so many pages. There it is. All right, do you see this link right here? This is the link. I'm putting it in chat right now. We're also gonna email you. If you have this, that's all you'll need. Tomorrow when you come in, you will see that we've already set this link up for the next day. And that was to keep, I'm going to shoot the whole group that link. All right. So all of you have the link. That's where to start tomorrow. We'll get the rest of this done. Hey, I'm a little bit different. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for staying with us this long, folks. I really appreciate that. I'm going to ask my friend Dan to, our director, chief editor at across our brands, director of content. Dan, why don't you close this out, pal?
And you can hear me, right, Flint? Something weird happened on my computer.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we're going to pop up a survey right now. So everyone, if you fill out the survey, just to make sure we get your information, we can send you follow-ups. You can also tell us what you think of this. So Steve, if you could pop up that survey right now, that would be great. Just a simple poll you can fill out. So the big thing I want to mention, take away from this is there were really good advanced questions throughout this chat. It was really impressive the way you guys were thinking. And so I do want to caveat and say, this was 2 hours, right? There are hours and hours and hours to go deeper and deeper and deeper into this stuff. The AI Guild, I mean, people are forming cohorts with each other, working deeper with our team. There's so much more you can do with this. Flint really scratched the surface. And I think what he was trying to do with this here was do something that was manageable in these 2 days. And like he said, then with the follow-up sprint you can do. So these are things you can really start getting going and doing powerful stuff in AI. But as a lot of you have mentioned, yeah, you can go a lot deeper. You can do a lot more. Is a powerful tool that we didn't even get to custom libraries you can upload. I think we just barely scratched that surface. People asked about different apps and experts. Yes, what you see in the essential plan, that's just the first tier. There's more there. There's CFDs. There's a lot going on. So I hope today and what's coming in the next few days gave you good ideas and maybe those first steps to power your thinking and what you can do with your brand and your customers to improve things. But yeah, baby steps. There's so much more that's possible, like any tool. So it's a good start. Like I said, fill out the poll so we can kind of just, get your information. We can follow up with you, send you more information. And with that, I'll just keep it open a little longer so we can get all that going. Then
I want to do one more thing. I'll tell you what I want to do. Sure. Teresa, you've been here a long time. Teresa runs a not-for-profit that has empowered 8,000 plus families all over the world and villages everywhere. She's been recognized by the United Nations. I've seen the videos. They call her the queen in Africa. She is the queen mother over there of thousands of families. And what we do is, in a nutshell, she helps them produce product, and she finds the market for them in major suppliers all over the world, like Whole Foods, but also digitally. She does a better job than I, but Teresa, you've been in the guild for a while. What advice would you give everybody as we leave? And by the way, it's 10by3.org. Go to her site. It's amazing what she's doing. But Teresa, what advice would you give the group here today as we end?
Believe that you can do this. When Flint teaches, he gives us a fire hose of information, but it all will connect. It will all make sense. You will not find a more powerful tool to transform yourself and transform your business than this, but you've got to believe that you are capable of doing it. So come into these sessions ready to learn, ready to act, and don't get overwhelmed as the information comes at you, because you can see that they have set up all kinds of networks to assist you, from Circle to the training sessions. So the biggest piece of advice is believe in yourself and keep coming back. And there's going to be a moment when the light switch will go on and you're going to realize you can change the world with this technology.
Awesome answer. Thank you, Teresa. Everyone, thank you for coming today. Thank you for putting up with me. We'll be back with more, and I'll keep doing research.